Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow, Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
All right, man. Tyzu says that when he get done with Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo, that Errol Spence can be next. After he heard that Errol Spence said he betting $10,000 on Tony Harrison to get the upset over Tyzu. Apparently, they had the press conference. I did not get a chance to see it. I think Tony Harrison was there via video call. I seen a few interviews that Tyzu did, around the way and stuff of that nature. So, I mean, interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, he said if you want to move up where the big boys at, he can move up and he can get this work. So, Tyzu don't seem intimidated. Seem a dude with a stoic personality, going to do his job. So, a lot of people don't like him because there's no flamboyance to his game. There's no great speed. There's no great nothing power. He got solid power. It's nothing that he does that's exceptional. But I mean, if he go through Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo, then I mean, Errol Spence writing the check that he gonna have to cash. So, I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, even if it was the fight next somehow, some way. I mean, there's no guarantee that Tony Harrison, he gonna beat Tony Harrison. A lot of people riding with Tony Harrison, not just because he American, because Tony Harrison can he can stick and move. He a slick fighter, and that seemed to kind of be the remedy for a guy like Tyzu. And Tyzu went on to say, well, he said Errol Spence was talking trash before I fought Terrell Goucher. So he said, Tyzu said he was, Errol Spence was barking before he fought Goucher, and that don't bother him, that he can come get this work too. So after you get done with Charlo and Harrison, and maybe somehow, if Charlo can't fight him next, then maybe somehow Earl and Zoo could fight for the WBO. But with Terence Crawford being able to be super champion, it'd have to be a lot of politicking between Al Heyman and the WBO, because then, Crawford gonna try to sneak in there and get that. So who knows? But it's all politics and money running thing. If they don't want Terence Crawford to move up and get a shot, he won't. So I mean, that's just the way boxing is. But from a Zoo aspect point of view, it's a good fight. I mean, him and Earl kind of marry each other a little bit. Earl, obviously, more athletic, but two good fighters. Got some thump. It'd be an interesting fight, bro. Tyzu kind of being at 54, he naturally look thicker, but it'd be interesting to see Earl now going to 54. You give him 7 pounds, he probably gonna look, a lot more healthier. His legs gonna probably be a lot better. He probably gonna punch a lot harder. The shots gonna turn over way more crisper than an Ugas fight. And that's as good as I seen him have snap on his shots in an Ugas fight in a long time. So you give him 7 pounds, he gonna be a different animal. And I think his jab is what's gonna be the difference. He get his feet get his head off the line. Tyzu sit on the line a little bit too much. I think that'll be the difference in the fight. Earl Spence would be more energized. His legs would be a little bit better. His shots would be snapping a lot more. But then the only question to ask is, can he take the shot? They had 10 ounces on too, but can he take the shot? And that's what you ask when you move. I think he'll move well. People point, well, he fought up there before. It's different on a prize fighting level, and it's different from 8, 9, 10 years ago. His body is at a different point, not just because of the car accidents, because getting his grown man strength on. So I mean, that's a good fight. It's a fight that I don't think he would travel to Australia for. Left the money was super right. But Tyzu said he don't understand why it's a perception from Americans that Australia don't have no great boxers and no good competition over there. But he said for the Tony Harrison fight that he brought some American guys over. He said he keeping them sharp, keeping them right. I think last time he was over here, he was over here last time. I think he was sparring on Fight Night. They had him sparring in front of Floyd Senior. So I would like to see what Floyd Senior kind of would think, kind of from his eye, what he believed. But pretty sure he's very well familiar with his father. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's a good fight. You know, it's an action-packed fight. You know, I think Errol is a better defender. I think Errol kind of check every box over Tim Tszyu, other than actually being in that 54 and competing. So I mean, it's a good fight. You know, it's a fight that the fans just want to see. I mean, you could throw Crawford in mix with Tim Tszyu. That's another good fight. You know, most people believe Tim Tszyu will have a strength and power advantage over Terence Crawford. Some people might think he got over Errol Spence, but I ain't sure. Then you spend 7 more pounds. I think he naturally, you know, a bigger guy. So they both would be thick at 54. I think Errol just a little bit more athletic, you know, defense better. And you start checking those boxes. You know, I think it'd be a good fight. I think it'd be about, if he, you know, I think it'd be a 3-4 point victory for Errol Spence. So that's what I think it is. I think his jab will kind of be the difference. His athleticism, his defense. I mean, shit, it's a good fight. Tim Tszyu should want it. You know, if Tim Tszyu able to get past Tony Harrison, you know, without some bullshit going on with the judges or in general with the venue and officials, you know, if he able to beat up Tony Harrison, of course they're gonna move the bar back and say, well, he beat Tony Harrison, he was already knocked out, he already got beat. You know what I'm saying? That's what they gonna say. That's exactly what they go. So, you know, if he looking to earn credentials or earn credit with the American public, once they decide they don't like you, bro. It's hard to unvilify yourself, even though I know it ain't the word. Even if you ain't done nothing to be the villain. It's hard to kind of, you know, get the American public to accept you, bro. It really is. Being a foreigner, I mean, Conor McGregor is the anomaly, bro. So it's hard to get that respect. And then he fighting against the grain of, you only here because your daddy, and you only getting out, so you fighting that. So obviously he got a lot of fuel in the tank, but you know, I think most important, the number one thing is probably just getting the respect of his peers, his boxing peers in America. And he beat Tony Harrison, I think people will get his respect. But you know, Tony Harrison, you know, he feel he gonna go in there, outbox Tim Tszyu. But the thing about it is, when I watch him, he don't waste no. And he's very efficient. He don't waste no energy, and his head don't get off the line. And you know, Tony, you going overseas, moving and shit. Tony gonna have to be a little bit more offensive and push forward a little bit more, kind of like he did in the second Charlo fight. But you know, just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, but a little bit more. But you know, it's a good fight. But he don't use his jab, and I think Tony Harrison jab and his foot movement, it's gonna be very interesting to see how he deal with that jab and that lateral and that in and out movement. But I like to see Tony Harrison hit that gas a little bit earlier, at least move forward earlier. You know, just to, you know, at the end of the round, just to steal some rounds early in rounds, just to set the tone. But you know, it's a fantastic fight. I mean, it's an actual fight that looks like it's gonna happen March 12th. So I mean, yeah, but you know, throwing Earl into the mix, I mean, that's a good 3-fight run. You beat Zil, you beat Jamel, you beat Earl. I mean, shit, you know, he don't need to be validated no more. He don't need to be validated. But you know, when somebody, you know, he don't seem like he got too emotional. It don't seem like he got, you know, he more stoic. It don't seem like he gonna be emotional. You know, he's just more of, I'm gonna go out there, do my job, prove it. That's his thing. I'm gonna go out there, do my job, prove it. You know, that's kind of where his mindset is at. You know, he was like, you know, he bet 10,000, you know, on Tony Harrison. I mean, he was talking jump before the Goucher fight, and at the end of the day, if Tim Tszyu make it through the fire, all Errol Spence is doing is putting, you know, himself in position to fight Tim Tszyu if he get through the fire. It's like the Mortal Kombat tower. You just going up the tower, beating everybody and shit. And, you know, even though a lot of people feel it's slim to zero odds that he can beat Harrison and Jamel Charlo, but if somehow, some miracle way that he do, I mean, Errol Spence has put himself in position with a good fight for Tim Tszyu. They already started talking it up. They always got something. And like I said, Errol Spence always speaking on motherfuckers though. You know, he always got something to say. And he had plenty to say about Terence Crawford, but then wasn't a man of his word and then keep his word. So it ain't no guarantee, But, you know, to me, why not? Why not? You know, it's a good fight. You know, title will be on the line, and titles could be on the line. All titles could go through Tim Tszyu. You never know. So one thing about Tony Harrison, when that pressure get on late in that fight, it ain't like he can step it up. You know, it seemed like he started to fade. And the thing about Jermell Charlo, when you start to pressure him, he started busting. The pipe start cracking and busting and shit. So his power and his conditioning usually bail him out. So there'll be opportunities in both fights for him to win, but they just both uphill battles. So he just, you know, he been sparring with the brothers, and, you know, he said he understand how American fighters tick and how they work. We're going to see. Tony Harrison, you know, it's a pick'em fight in my opinion. I know I'm rolling with the boy from the D. But let me know what you girls and guys think, man, about it. I mean, Errol Spence could be positioning himself into a big money fight. So for the boxing fans, that's the best thing to do, because if Tim Tszyu can beat Harrison and Jermell Charlo, it's a great fight between, you know, Tszyu and Errol Spence. So I love to see it. But hey, check out the Boxing News playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in description. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Link tree, the first link in the description. Peace.